What's up, guys? We're back with another NFL video. Before I get started, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Guys, we're 9 subscribers away from 350. We're really on that grind of 1K. I've seen a lot of growth lately. It's much appreciated. If you enjoy the channel, make sure to subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. Guys, I've already done my top 10 quarterbacks and top 10 running backs. Just check them out, by the way. I'll go ahead and leave a card for them in the top right corner. But this is definitely the hardest list I've done so far. There are so many extremely talented wide receivers in the NFL. There were guys that I wanted to put on this list so bad, and were so close to getting onto the list, and just fell short. So I do want to go through a few honorable mentions. First off, Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been one of the most consistent wide receivers, possibly the most consistent wide receiver over the last 7-8 years. I'm not sure if he's ever had a season under 1,000 yards, actually. So, been extremely good. I really wanted to put him on this list, but I feel like last year there were just so many dominant wide receivers. Another honorable mention I want to mention is DJ Moore. He, I feel like, is a very underappreciated wide receiver. He's played with quarterbacks such as Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, PJ Walker, Will Grier, an injured Cam Newton, and still put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, actually 1,100-yard seasons, and I mean, he also led the league in contested catches over 20 yards in 2020. I mean, I feel like if you give him a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, a dominant quarterback like that, I feel like he could explode as top 5, maybe top 10 receiver in the league. I really wanted to put him on this list, but like I said, too many just dominant guys. With that said, if your favorite wide receiver isn't on this list, I apologize. There's probably 25 receivers I could see, be considered for this list. It's just there's too many good ones. So we'll start with number 10. I have Calvin Ridley. Now Calvin Ridley in 2020 really, so the first year he really didn't have any injuries, and really exploded as his own receiver. He had 90 receptions for 1,374 yards and 9 touchdowns. It's hard to tell this year if that production is going to go up or down with Julio Jones leaving. I personally feel like it's actually going to go up because, yeah, Julio Jones was injured last year, but in the games that he was injured, even though Calvin Ridley was getting double and triple teamed, he put up better numbers than when Julio Jones was playing. So he could very well have an even better season, if I'm being honest. Number 9, I really wanted to put him higher up. I have Justin Jefferson, guys. As a rookie, he put up 1,400 receiving yards and 7 touchdowns. I get that the Vikings were definitely a team that definitely had to play from behind in a lot of games because of their defense, but that doesn't take away how dominant Justin Jefferson was last year. In my opinion, he was easily the best rookie receiver, and I think he's going to be the best second-year receiver too. I mean, I've heard all this talk about CeeDee Lamb. I like CeeDee Lamb. I think he's going to be a good receiver. But Justin Jefferson has already proven that he can put up amazing numbers, and I don't really see those numbers really going down much, if any, in 2020. Number 8, I have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, I used to really consider him an underrated receiver. I actually had him as one of my fantasy sleepers last year. In a league I actually have with my family, I was waiting as far into the fantasy draft as I could to take this guy, and ended up getting him, and he was incredible. Super good receiver. He started to get a lot of notice now, though. In 2020, he had 70 receptions for 1,075 yards and 11 touchdowns. This was in 14 games, so he missed a couple, but it wasn't bad. I think honestly, adding Julio Jones, it might honestly help AJ Brown have an even better season, because he's not going to be getting double and triple teamed quite as much. Very, very physical receiver, makes awesome contested catches. I think him and Ryan Tannehill have some of the best quarterback and wide receiver chemistry in the league. Number 7, another very underrated wide receiver. I have Allen Robinson. This is a guy, much like DJ Moore, that has had to play with just garbage quarterbacks his whole career. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, not that great. There's a reason why the Bears traded up for a first-round quarterback. Mitch Trubisky's he's not that guy. And Allen Robinson last year still put up 102 receptions for 1,250 yards and 6 touchdowns, including back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. I mean, with a quarterback like that, and honestly an offense that kind of struggles, in my opinion, I think that's a really impressive feat. If he gets his chemistry going with Justin Fields, I could see him pop off as a 1,400 yard receiver with 10 or 11 touchdowns. I mean, there's not many guys that can make the types of catches Allen Robinson makes. Number 6, I'll be honest, until the last minute, I kind of forgot to put him on the list, just because we haven't seen him play in a while. Michael Thomas. Now, I get it, all the memes going around of him being slant boy and him being the only guy Drew Brees, has thrown to other than Kamara. Doesn't matter. He still, in 2019, broke the all-time single-season record for receptions and put up 1,700 receiving yards. It doesn't matter how many targets you get. That's an impressive feat. It is unfortunate he is projected to miss a few games in 2020. Not quite sure how many that's going to be. It's going to just depend on how quick he can recover. But I think when he comes back, I think he'll be just as dominant as he was in 2019, he didn't miss a beat. Number 5, a lot of people are going to think I have him a little bit higher up, or a little bit overrated. I have DK Metcalf. Now, for most of this last season, DK Metcalf was top 5 in receiving yards, was one of the best deep ball wide receivers in the league. He's 6'3" and 230 pounds, and he runs a 4.39, or it might even be faster than that. I think it's a 4.39. That's insanely fast for a guy his size. Russell Wilson's the perfect guy to be throwing to him. I think Russell Wilson has the best deep ball in the league. I mean, not many guys can do what DK Metcalf does. I mean, yeah, his production did slow down a little bit once Seattle's offense kind of started getting a little bit more conservative and not quite as explosive. But I think that's a coaching issue. I think DK Metcalf, honestly, if he has another season like this last one, I think he could emerge as a top 3 receiver. He's one of my favorite receivers to watch. He's really dominant. Number 4, I have Stefon Diggs. Diggs is another guy that really surprised me. His time in Minnesota, yeah, he was really dominant and everything. He was kind of like a borderline top 10 wide receiver. Okay, Was always a big deep threat, but never really had a great deep ball quarterback to throw him the ball. Now he has Josh Allen, possibly the strongest arm in the NFL. And you saw the results of that. He put up, I want to say, about 1,500 yards and like 8 touchdowns or something like that. He was nothing but dominant. He's a guy I'm definitely planning on taking in fantasy football this year if he's available. I think he's going to have an even better season this year, if I'm being honest. I think he can add another 3 or 4 touchdowns to his list from last year. I think he'll put up another 200 receiving yards. I think he's going to be really good. Number 3, we have Tyreek Hill, the fastest wide receiver in the NFL. I mean, this guy isn't only the fastest wide receiver, he's also a really good route runner. I mean, you look at this guy's routes, they're crisp. He knows how to juke people out. His routes are never, short of amazing. He's always good at getting separation. And, I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. But Tyreek Hill definitely makes Mahomes' job a lot easier. I mean, half the time Mahomes just has to hurl the ball downfield and Tyreek's there to catch it. I've got nothing but good things to say about Tyreek Hill. Number 2, I have DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, I strongly debated having at number 1. He's been my number 1 for past few years, honestly. I mean, this year he seemed a little bit inconsistent. Like, there were games that he was just absolutely dominant, and then there were games that he looked kind of pedestrian. I mean, you look at games like the Panthers game last year, he only put up like 40-something receiving yards, and they shut him down. So he was a little bit inconsistent in that factor, but in the games that he did, play well, he played really well. I still think he has the chance to be the best receiver in the league, but him and Devonta Adams, they're always going back and forth for me. I mean, I feel like if you give DeAndre Hopkins Aaron Rodgers, they'll be, about on the same level. Hopkins may be a little bit better, but Devonta Adams, in my opinion, is the best route runner in the league. He's also an incredible deep ball threat. He's a good yard after catch receiver. He's got some of the best hands in the NFL. Again, guys, there's not enough good things that I can say about this guy. Guys, let me know what you thought of this list. I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset because your favorite receiver isn't on here. Again, this isn't disrespect to any of those receivers. There's just a lot of talented guys out there. Another honorable mention I want to mention is Keenan Allen. I think he's another guy that is a borderline top 10 receiver, and with Justin Herbert, he could have another really big season. But let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button, and I will see you next time. Later.